1. Hook Kubernetes is a buzzword that everyone seems to love. But what if I told you it might actually be overkill for your project? Stick around to discover why Kubernetes might not be the silver bullet you think it is, and what you can use instead for simpler, effective scaling. But it can lead to complexity and frustration. Here's the truth: Kubernetes is powerful, but it's not always necessary. You might be a small team, or just starting a new project. In these cases, managing Kubernetes can create more headaches than it solves. Let's explore why this is the case. 3. The simple explanation: Kubernetes is a container orchestration platform. It helps manage containers and microservices at scale. But here's the catch: it's designed for complex systems with many moving parts. If you're running a simple application, Kubernetes can add unnecessary layers of complexity. Learning curve: it requires time and expertise to learn. Resource overhead: it often consumes more resources than simpler solutions. Operational management: you need a dedicated team to manage it effectively. For smaller projects or teams, this can lead to wasted time and money. Instead of focusing on building your product, you're stuck managing infrastructure. 4. Real-world example: let's consider a startup called QuickBites, which aimed to create an on-demand food delivery service. They started with 2 developers and a single application that processed about 100 orders per minute. Excited about scaling, they jumped into Kubernetes. Their app involved a basic front-end and a back-end service. They set up a Kubernetes cluster on AWS, expecting automation and scalability. Here's what happened: initial setup took over 4 weeks, including learning time. They spent $1,500 per month just on infrastructure costs. Debugging took longer due to the complexity of the Kubernetes setup. They faced downtime during the deployment of new features, losing critical orders. Eventually, QuickBites realized they didn't need Kubernetes. They switched back to a simpler container management platform and refocused on their core product. Within a month, they cut their infrastructure costs by 40% and improved deployment times by 70%. 5. What to do instead if Kubernetes feels like overkill? Here's a simple framework to follow. 1. Assess your needs. How many users do you expect? Will you need to scale quickly? What's your team size and expertise level? 2. Choose the right tool. For small projects, consider Docker Swarm, AWS ECS, or even simpler solutions like Heroku. If you need orchestration, choose a lightweight tool that meets your requirements. 3. Define your architecture. Start with a monolithic architecture if it suits your needs. Break it into microservices only when you hit a scaling issue. 4. Plan for scaling. Set a user threshold that triggers a scaling decision. For instance, if you expect more than 500 concurrent users, consider transitioning to a more robust solution. 5. Monitor and iterate. Use monitoring tools to assess performance. Tools like Grafana or Datadog can provide insights without the overhead of Kubernetes. Regularly review your architecture and adjust as needed. By following these steps, you can avoid the unnecessary complexity of Kubernetes while still effectively managing your application. 6. Common mistakes. 1. Jumping in without understanding needs. Fix. Conduct a thorough needs assessment before choosing Kubernetes. Ask yourself if your project truly requires orchestration. 2. Ignoring the learning curve. Fix. Invest in training or consider simpler alternatives first. Make sure your team is ready for Kubernetes before implementing it. 3. Underestimating resource costs. Fix. Calculate your monthly budget and projected usage. Use cost calculators provided by cloud platforms to get a clearer picture. 4. Overcomplicating architecture. Fix. Start simple. Only transition to microservices when you need to scale. Keep your architecture as straightforward as possible. 5. Neglecting operational overhead. Fix. Ensure your team has the necessary skills or hire experts. If you can't afford that, consider alternatives that require less operational management. 7. Quick checklist. Assess your user needs. Choose a fitting container management tool. Start with a monolithic architecture. Set user thresholds for scaling decisions. Monitor performance continuously. 8. Summary plus CTA and summary. Kubernetes can be a powerful tool, but it's not always the right choice for every project. By evaluating your specific needs and opting for simpler alternatives, you can save time, reduce costs, and focus on what really matters, building your product. If you found this information helpful, drop a comment below with your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe for more practical tech insights. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost. Only upgrade when metrics force the decision, not fear.